Hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome to part 3 of the DIY powder coating build. So yes, hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me once again. And like I said, this is going to be part 3, hopefully the final part of this powder coating build. All I've really got left to do today is build the door. I've got the door seal. I've also bought all the C-stud wall section to build the door. I've even got the final bits of sheet metal over there as well. So literally, once the door is built, this thing will pretty much be done. Obviously, I've got some hinges and I've got some clasps which are going to be able to lock this door in place and hopefully bring it together against the door seal a lot better. Obviously, I'll show you them more when we actually get to put the door on. So first of all, what we're going to do is crack on, cut up the C-stud wall section and then get the actual door section built. Okay, so one of the main things I wanted to do in this door was create a window. So what I've done is I've utilised the bottom door and I've just put it all together inside some C-stud wall section that was going to be strengthening the door section anyway. And then I've just used these self-tapping metalwork screws down the sides of the glass, because on the back section of this door there was 2 metal poles running either side, or 2 metal bases that were then attached to the glass. So I've just self-tapped them. That's now in there properly, securely. But what I've also done is just around the edges here where all the gaps were, and there was like a recessed section all around here, I've just gone around with that fire putty, and then just down here there was just a small gap between the C-stud wall section and the glass, so I've only just put it just in that crease there. But here along where this recessed edge was, I made sure that I've properly built it up so that now when the steel section comes on top, hopefully this is going to be completely sealed off and there'll be no heat escaping. So what I'm going to need to do on the other side is just pack round the edges of this C-stud wall section in the other side, just fill it full of insulation. Hopefully that way no heat's going to be escaping through the sides. Obviously I'll fill the insulation here, here, here and here. But what I want to do now quickly, whilst this is still drying, is get the steel sheet on the outside. That way, well, first of all I'll cut the hole. That way, once this is all drying, hopefully it'll be a nice seal. Okay, so that is the door all together. Now I just need to try and attach it to the actual unit itself. I should have thought about this before I put all the electronics on. Probably should have done the door first, so that I could have laid it on its back, placed it on, done the hinges, done the clasps. So I think I might just put it on its side, offer it up, and then do the hinges that way. The cuts on the glass are pretty poor, not gonna lie. Doesn't really matter, it's not a show quality piece. I can actually see through it, so that's the main thing. So yeah, let's get this on its side. Hopefully I can then offer this up and then attach the hinges. Once the hinges are on, then obviously I'll put it back up and get the clasps done as well, followed by the door seal. Now, I'll be honest, I've made a massive mistake. When I built the door at 2x1, there would have been a gap at either end of the bottom. Sides would have been fine, because I'd already compensated for the sides when I put it all together. But I forgot about the length as it stands right now. So what I did do was, I mean, you can see the sheet metal hasn't completely covered the frame, but hopefully that's going to give me a little bit of a clearance on the sides. Then I can obviously fit the door seal like that. So let's get it on its side and then we'll see. Okay, so with the hinges on, the door is now on. I've also attached these brackets which clamp everything together. I mean, this one now needs tightening, so obviously I'm going to go along. I've put 3 on this side. The bottom section of the door fits really nicely. The top section of the door is a little bit bowed outwards, so the gap was quite large without these clasps on. But as you can see, with these clasps on, it is completely sealed, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, so that is pretty much the powder coating oven done. The door is now sealed, so let me just show you what I've done there. So as you can see, I've put these 2 C-stud sections on the roof and on the base, so that that's now going to create the seal against the door up here. What I've also used is some fiberglass rope door or fire door seal. Now, I'm probably going to have to get some thicker stuff because it is quite thin and narrow. The original stuff I bought was basically like a rope. It was fully round and then I would have just sealed it. But I thought I ordered enough to do this, but unfortunately only 1 metre length came. So I had to get this at short notice. But yeah, that's the door on. And I'm really satisfied that everything is completely sealed, especially using these clamps. Really does close up that gap. The only thing I've got a problem with at the minute is these screws that I've used, the self-tapping metal screws. They seem to be working themselves loose already. So I'm going to have to probably think of another way to secure these, or get some thicker ones that don't basically create a bigger hole. Also, on the rear, this thing's pretty heavy now. It's actually quite difficult to maneuver, but at least it still is maneuverable. So I'm pleased with that at least. Here is my wiring enclosure. So it's not very pretty, but it should do the job. I have just secured this to the actual back and to the fascia of the controls, and I've just filled it full of insulation, other than the fan, which I've screwed on down here. So there is a section of wires here where if they are starting to get warm, hopefully that fan will kick in and keep everything nice and cool. But I have just used this insulation as well, to hopefully nothing's going to contact the sides. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that looks. It finishes off quite nicely. So as far as I'm concerned, that is the powder coating oven done. The only thing I really do need to change is this wiring. I'm literally just using a piece of 2.5mm flex right now, whereas anybody who's wired up a home oven knows that basically the minimum cable thickness you need to use is a 6mm. So I'm really underpowered here. Also, because I've made it quite long, that's really not good for it either. But other than that, she's done. Next weekend, I'm going to take some bits off the MR2 and we will give this thing a proper test run. So until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.